Now, if we take a look at this first example, it shows us that the scale on a map is 1 centimetre to 4 kilometres, and what they want to know is how far is the real distance between two landmarks if the distance on the map is 3.6 centimetres. Now, you should all be quite confident with map scales and what they mean, but a quick revision is that if it's 1 centimetre to 4 kilometres, it means every 1 centimetre on the map represents 4 kilometres in real life. So, if they want to know what a distance of 3.6 centimetres on the map would give us, well, all we need to do is multiply that second amount, 4 kilometres, by 3.6, and it will tell us that 3.6 centimetres is the same as 14.4 kilometres in real life. The ratio, remember, has to be kept the same. So if I've multiplied this by 3.6, I also need to multiply that by 3.6. So 3.6 centimetres on the map means in real life, those two landmarks are 14.4 kilometres apart. Another type of problem involving ratio that you'll be required to solve is one where you divide a quantity into a given ratio. And they're quite popular on exam papers. So let's look at an example together. In this example, three waiters, Andy, Ben and Carl, receive £35.55 in tips, and they split them in the ratio 2 to 3 to 4. And what the question asks is how much does each person receive? Now, the method for splitting a quantity into a ratio is always the same, and the first part is always to add the parts of your ratio together. So my ratio was 2 to 3 to 4, and if I add all those together, I get 9 parts. The reason why we calculate that is because if we can work out what one part is worth, we can then work out what each part of the ratio will be worth to each person. So, to work out what one part is then, I'd need to do £35.55 divided by 9. This would be a calculator question, so if you get your calculators and work it out, you should see that it gives you £3.95. And remember, that's one part that we've just worked out. Now, Andy represents two parts of that ratio. So to work out what Andy gets, well, he's going to get 2 lots of £3.95, which is £7.90. Ben, remember, well, he gets 3 parts, so he'll get 3 lots of £3.95, which is £11.85. And finally, Carl, well, Carl receives 4 parts of the ratio, so he'll get 4 lots of £3.95, which gives him a total amount of £15.80. So what we've done there is to work out what one part is worth, having already worked out how many parts I was dividing it into altogether, worked out one part, then gone back to the ratio and for each person worked out what they earned. Make sure when you write your working out that you keep it clear as to which person earns which amount. The way of checking to see if you've done it correctly, of course, is to add these amounts together and ensure, as you do, that you get £35.55 as your total amount. So we know we've broken it down correctly.